Hey, stop! Before you watch this video, click on that button and subscribe to this channel. Because if you don't, you're going to see a monstrous spider in nightmares for a week. Have you been given a dose of Megalodon overkill? Come on, Hollywood can't get enough of Meg movies, and the internet is all about Megalodon this and Megalodon that. But what's the deal about the Meg anyway? Did you know there are sea creatures that exist or existed that would make Meg seem like a goldfish in comparison? Some really ugly guys. And some so huge they would give you nightmares, or freeze you like the Basilisk in the Harry Potter. Check out these 12 sea monsters scarier than the Megalodon. Number 12. Kronosaurus. In the early Cretaceous period, the dinosaurs ruled the land, but the seas were ruled by this 30-foot marine monster, the Kronosaurus. The Kronosaurus belongs to a group of marine reptiles called pilosaurs. Fossils of these bad guys were discovered in Australia and were known to be extreme marine carnivores. They were fast swimmers with powerful muscles and enormous teeth, almost 10 inches long. The Kronosaurus has elongated heads with short necks, a stiff body, and powerful flippers to propel it through the vast oceans. It had a relatively shorter tail with posterior flippers much larger than its anterior flippers. Their long, sharp, crushing, conical teeth made them love their juiciest meal, giant sharks. The first three maxillary teeth were basically enlarged to fangs, and this stands out as one of the genus Kronosaurus' scariest features. But if this guy was scary, wait till you see an even scarier guy, the Godzilla shark. Number 11. Godzilla shark. One of the most terrifying prehistoric sea creatures to have ever lived. The Godzilla shark existed about 300 million years ago. Fossils of the Godzilla shark were found in the Manzano Mountains, east of Albuquerque, New Mexico. This massive beast was discovered by paleontologist John Paul Hodnett in 2013, who named it the Godzilla for many reasons. It had features similar to that of a reptile. The outer layer of its body was covered in scales. It was massive in size and had razor-sharp teeth. What made it seem so similar to the popular sea monster Godzilla was its dorsal fin spines that were larger than any shark which had ever existed. The large spines of Godzilla sharks served multiple functions. They helped to cut through the water while swimming, and acted as intimidating deterrents to other sharks. The Godzilla shark may have been a slower-moving ambush predator, which used quick bursts of speed to capture its prey. It's still unknown if it could shoot ray blasts. Number 10. Blobfish. Okay, this little guy is a dwarf in front of the Meg, but where looks are concerned, it's way uglier and scarier. The Meg would win a beauty contest hands down, with the blobfish considered one of the world's ugliest creatures, if not the scariest. Called Cycrolutes marketus, the blobfish is found in the deep waters off the coasts of Australia and New Zealand, and it's only about a foot long. The blobfish is a pink fish that has soft bones and few muscles. It lacks a swim bladder, which is the gas-filled internal organ responsible for allowing the fish to control its ability to remain afloat in water. But this doesn't mean that the blobfish only sinks to the bottom of the ocean. In fact, it has a body much like jelly, with a density slightly lower than the water in which it lives. This allows it to stay afloat slightly above the ocean floor. The rare blobfish is still found in a few areas of the world, and at depths of between 2,000 and 4,000 below the water surface. In the ocean, it's very unlikely that anyone has ever encountered a live blobfish. The only ones encountered by humans are the dead specimens that have been discarded by deep-sea fishing trawlers that use nets to sweep up marine animals from the bottom of the ocean. Check out our next huge sea monster, the massive Mosasaurus. Number 9. Mosasaurus. Do you remember the famous water dino from the 2015 movie Jurassic World? Yep, that was the Mosasaurus. The one that ate the huge shark and finally killed the rampaging Indominus Rex. Scientists believe Mosasaurus evolved from a group of extinct aquatic lizards called Aegilosaurus in the early Cretaceous period. These lizards were just 3 foot long, but evolved into such ginormous beasts due to the reducing ocean levels and the rising oxygen levels. The first fossils of this giant underwater creature were discovered in the Netherlands in 1764. Mosasauruses were one of the most dangerous creatures that prowled the waters of the planet. They looked like giant crocodiles with strong fins instead of legs. These giant sea monsters were nearly 57 feet in length, with some of the biggest being 60 feet long and looked more like dinosaur whales. Mosasaurus weighed around 30,000 pounds and were definitely the apex predator of its time. Number 8. Chimera. Here's another smaller fish than a meg, but way uglier and scarier. In fact, it looks possessed. The chimera is a type of cartilaginous fish, similar to sharks and rays. It bears a somewhat ghoulish appearance. This deep-sea creature inhabits the temperature-cold waters around the world, and lives at depths of 8,200 feet or more. There are about 47 species of chimera, ranging from 24 to 80 inches in overall length. Based on archaeological evidence, the chimera can be considered a prehistoric species that has been around for millions of years. Chimeras have very large heads and long, tapering bodies. They can be either pale blue, brownish gray, or black in color, and typically have smooth skin. Their large, translucent green eyes allow them to have good vision in the dark depths of the sea. Their large eyes, nostrils, and teeth also give them a rabbit-like appearance. A carnivore, chimeras love preying on smaller marine animals like invertebrates like octopuses, mollusks, crabs, sea urchins, and marine worms. Next, check out a monster with a mouth that could chomp through bone like butter. Number 7. Dunkleostis. Dunkleostis was a prehistoric monster fish that could easily chomp through bone. This menacing creature inhabited the waters of the Earth 360 million years ago. The most notable feature of this scary prehistoric animal was its massive length and heavy armor. Some of these fish even grew to lengths of 30 feet. They had beak-like mouths, which could probably even pierce through armor. They were believed to be a predatory species with such features. They had huge, stirring jaws that were capable of opening and snapping shut in milliseconds. Dunkleostis terrelli was considered the largest predator among the largest and fiercest creatures alive in the Devonian Age. A hardened carnivore, they also resorted to cannibalism. These scary creatures were so powerful and large that it feared nothing and tried to eat almost anything. Number 6. The Atlantic wolffish. With large heads that support powerful jaws and large canine teeth, the Atlantic wolffish are voracious predators that prowl the cold waters of the North Atlantic Ocean. They aren't large in size, growing up to about 5 feet, but boy are they scary. Their blood contains several natural compounds that allow it to inhabit these cold waters without ever freezing. They hunt and eat spiny or hard-bodied invertebrates, like large marine snails, sea urchins, crabs, and etc. They can grow to 5 feet in length. But unlike the other scary prehistoric sea monsters mentioned on this list, the Atlantic wolffish are not that rare. They have been found by both recreational fishers and commercial net fishers. But then again, fishing is causing a rapid decline in their numbers. The Atlantic wolffish prefers to lead a solitary life and only forms pairs for breeding. Number 5. Giant squid. If you're wondering whether giant squids are real or just a hoax, then here's your answer. Yes, they are real. The largest ever giant squid recorded by scientists was nearly 43 feet long and may have weighed about a ton. But if you're thinking that you can easily spot one in the middle of the ocean someday, then guess again. Because these creatures only lurk in the depths of the ocean. This makes them a rare sight, and the only ones that have been seen by people who aren't deep-sea divers are dead carcasses that float to the surface of the ocean. A giant squid is like an octopus with 8 to 10 tentacles, a beak, siphon, and eyes which make this one fearsome and scary marine creature of the deep. These monsters catch their prey with the help of their feeding tentacles that are tipped with hundreds of powerful sharp-toothed suckers. Count your lucky stars that if you ever see a kraken like this, it probably won't be alive and trying to eat you. Number 4. Helicoprion, the buzzsaw killer. People shiver at the sight of a great white shark. But what if they ever encountered the buzzsaw killer, Helicoprion? Just the sight of this prehistoric predator would be enough to make a person terrified. Helicoprions existed in the oceans 290 million years ago, during the Permian period. It was a truly remarkable creature which looked just like a huge, gigantic mouth with teeth. This was because this particular shark kept all its teeth, the old and new. Some of them even started growing teeth into their mouth or face as well. Helicoprion, like other sharks of this time, was a carnivore, which mainly preyed on ammonites. Its teeth were basically developed to break into the shells of ammonites. At present, a smaller relative of this freakish creature exists, and that just happens to be the chimera, which lurks at the depths of the ocean. Number 3. Titan boa. Giant snakes do exist in the world, and the most famous of them is the anaconda, found in the Amazonian rainforests. But 53 million years ago, there was a much larger slithering serpent monster, which would make the anaconda seem like a worm roaming the planet. This was none other than Titan boa, a real titan that grew over 40 feet in length and weighed more than a ton. While not a marine creature, the Titan boa loved roaming the rivers of the Amazon to hunt for prey, like large crocodiles. The Titan boa killed by constricting its prey and swallowing them whole. The Titan boa was a denizen of the swamp and a fearsome predator which could crush any creature it encountered. The thickest part of its body measured as high as a human's waist. Number 2. Deinosuchus. Deinosuchus was a monstrous crocodile that terrorized the Cretaceous period. The word Deinosuchus itself means terrible crocodile. This prehistoric reptile existed 82 million years ago and was an aggressive water and land creature that would even pick fights with the Dino King itself, the T-Rex. Many dinosaur fossils have been discovered with Deinosuchus teeth marks on their necks and bodies. This just goes to show how these prehistoric crocs loved hunting any dinosaur that they would come across. Deinosuchus was undoubtedly larger than any modern-day crocodile or alligator. It would grow to a size of 39 feet long and around 10 feet tall, and would weigh up to 8.5 metric tons. Its teeth were large and robust, built for crushing, while a thick hemispherical osteodermis covered the length of its back. Now consider a Meg in front of this water giant. It would have no chance. Number 1. Leviathan. One of the world's most scary prehistoric sea monsters to have ever prowled the oceans, and probably could have eaten a Megalodon, is the Leviathan. The Leviathan is a whale, which had a ginormous mouth. It existed during the Miocene period, about 9 million years ago. Around that time, it inhabited the waters of Australia, South Africa, and South America. These prehistoric whales were aggressive ocean predators that grew to titanic sizes, around 60 feet. Being so huge, they have been regarded as one of the largest predators to have ever existed. The most fascinating feature of these giants was their teeth, which were 1.2 feet long, and this has been deemed as the largest biting teeth among any animal to have ever existed. The jaws of a Leviathan were pure 14-inch flesh-ripping, bone-tearing machines. It's likely that they preyed on megalodons and other sharks as well.